Hey, this is Ryan, and today we're going to continue on with deploying our monolith. Before we break it up, we're going to keep it as is. We're going to use Amazon Elastic Container Service to launch 2 EC2 instances, and we have one single image for our entire application. So what we'll do is create a load balancer and a target group. And the load balancer, that will be included in our CloudFormation template. So if you move on to part 1, we're going to create a stack, and here's our ECS YAML file. So download that from this GitHub link and go to CloudFormation. Create stack. I'm just going to upload it from a local file. Stack name, break the monolith demo. Capacity, number of instances, we're going to have 2 instances. We just want a T2 micro, that'll be fine. Max number of instances that can be launched in your EC2 cluster, 2. Next. And create stack. That took about 3 or 4 minutes, so we're all finished now. For the next step, check to see if your cluster is running. Find Elastic Container Service. Takes us right to our cluster. So we're on the clusters tab. This is our cluster name. So if we click that, let's try ECS instances. And here is our 2 instances. All right, part 3, write a task definition. Go up here to task definitions, create a new task, choose EC2, task definition name, call this API, task role. I think we leave all this as is, and okay, all this is fine. So add container. Container name, type in API again. And for our image, this is where we want to go back to ECR, Elastic Container Registry. So we have our image ID, so this is what it's going to look like for image ID, except we'll just replace account ID and region. And if you don't know what your account ID is, if you just go to ECR, you can find it there. Okay, I'm going to copy this, paste that here. Image ID, I'm sorry, account ID, and the region, US East 1. And we have V1, it's the same way that we left it, so that matches. Memory limit, 256. Port mapping, this is important. We want to type in 0 for the host port, container port 3000. And then down in environment, enter 256 for CPU. Okay, let's click add. And scroll down and press create. Container image contains invalid character. Okay, let's find out where I messed up. Add a bracket. Okay, now it created. Let's go to configure the application load balancer. So we should have already created a application load balancer from our template for CloudFormation, but we need a target group. So we'll head over to type in EC2 and scroll down to load balancers. Just make sure that's set up. Yep, here it is. And it says we need our VPC attribute for the next step. So I'm gonna make one more tab, find VPC. Have all my other VPCs deleted except for my default one, so it should be simple to find the one I'm looking for. Here's my defaults. This is the VPC that was created. So let's select that. And I believe if we go to details, yeah, here's our VPC ID. So I'm going to copy that, or I'll just leave this here for now. Okay, let's go back to EC2 and we want to create a target group. So select that, create. We will choose a instance, target group name, API. We want HTTP port 80. And by default, it's going to give you the wrong VPC, probably in your case as well. So make sure you select the new one. And click on advanced health checks. Healthy threshold, we want 2 for unhealthy, timeout 5, and every 6 seconds we want it to check. Next. Create. Okay, our target group is created. Now we want to go to our application load balancer and add a listener. Click this tab, add the listener. HTTP port 80, looks good. Now we want to forward to our API. This is what we named our target group. And here is our save button. Make sure you click this check mark. Okay. So if we went back, click add listener. Okay, now it should be set up. So if we went back, here is our listener. It's configured properly. Go to step 6, deploy the monolith as a service. Let's go back to ECS. Click on let's just go back to cluster and create a service. Launch type EC2, API, version 2, cluster's good. For service name, enter API. Number of tasks, 1. Rolling updates fine. Leave that. Okay, I think that's it for this page. So next step. For our load balancer type, we want application load balancer. That's the one that we're using. Select break the monolith demo IAM role. Load balancer name, this is good. And select add to load balancer. Production listener port, we want port 80. Target group API. Select next step. Leave this as default. And create service. Okay, I'll refresh this. Now it's running. So in order to test it, go to EC2 and go to load balancer. Select description. We want this DNS name. Copy that. Type in HTTP : // DNS name and / API -users. So this is given our list of usernames, so that means our containers are working. Here's a few other URLs you could try as well. You can check the threads or posts. Okay, that's it for that tutorial. Okay, so in the next tutorial, we're going to do something similar, but we're just going to create multiple images. So we're going to break this apart. We'll probably have, like in this case, 3 different images. So we'll upload that to ECR and then reconfigure this.